I don't see it on.
You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
Well, hi, Gail. Hello? Gail, are you with me? Gail, are you with me? Well, I'm waiting for her to come on, but in the meantime, hello, everybody. Are you there? I hope you are. Listen, Lady J just got off. She gave you a full rundown of what happened to us yesterday. We were in Annapolis all day long, from 11 to 11 almost. You can't make this stuff up. Miss Leah used to tell me, sometimes we're down there at 10, 11 o'clock. I say, okay. I fully believe it. She says, trust and verify. Well, guess what? I always trusted her, but guess what? I got everything that she ever said was verified last night. Yeah, we were down there. But the bills, sometimes, it says hearings start at 1 o'clock, but guess what? The one that you're down there for, the one that you're supporting, might not start until 3, 4, 5, 6. Ours didn't start until after 8 o'clock last night. So we were down there all day long. But guess what? Nobody had to rush back. Everybody made plans to be there as long as it. And that's all we're asking. When you go down with us, just know we might be down there all evening long. If you don't have money for food, we'll scrape it up together. But we make sure that we eat. We make sure that we're taking care of each other while we're down there. Gail, are you with me yet?
Good evening. I'm sorry about that. My phone is acting crazy.
That's okay. That's okay. Glad you're joining us. Listen, we have a couple other ladies who usually on here with us. Gail and Giselle. They're not here with us tonight, so we're going to try to wing it by ourselves. Think we can do it, Gail?
Gail is here. Etta's not here.
Right. I said, you think we can handle it by ourselves? I think we can. I know we're in her thoughts. Yes. Listen, yesterday, how awesome was it? How tiring was it? But how awesome was it? We saw so many bills, a lot of bills that we didn't even know were going to be heard yesterday were heard. There were bills on sex trafficking, child abuse. But the one that we were down there for was the last two bills. They didn't come on until what? At what time was it, Gail? After 8 o'clock?
They came on around 8:30, I think. Can you hear me? Well,
I can see I'm not going to be able to answer my phone, that's for sure. Yeah.
so when the bills came that late, there were a lot of people there that were for other bills along with ours, and the Yes Act, Bill number 1180, and House Bill 0096, which was the Yes Act. But it was good to see how so many people showed up and talking about condemning a youth who was confused at the times of their arrest and how it's not fair to have juveniles interacting and being put into the adult prisons. I'll wait for Gwen to come back so we can connect and talk more about uh, different bills that were brought up. I'm sorry, but my eyes are bothering me this evening. It's hard to read, so bear with me. I appreciate it. But are you back, Gwen?
Yes, I am. Listen, hang in there with us. This is all new to us. We're having all kinds of technical difficulties, but we're going to get through this tonight. Listen, one of the bills was the Yes Act.
Yes.
And and I know what you were telling them was that what it does is says that juveniles can remain in the juvenile system. You know, a lot of times when they're arrested, they get sent directly to the adult court. This bill is saying no, don't send them to adult court yet. Not to say that they won't eventually end up there, but from the beginning, we want to keep them in a juvenile facility where they can get counseling, they can get an advocate to work with them. That doesn't happen in the adult system. In the adult system, they're going in 15, 14, 17, 16, and it's traumatizing for them. And a lot of times, even though they get sent to adult court, their case is dropped. So they've been in maybe 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, 2 months. They've been sitting in an adult in an adult prison with adults, and the case gets dropped, or they get sent back to juvenile court. Either way, it's a traumatizing experience. So what this bill is saying is that please let them stay in adult court, give the judge the opportunity to look it over and make that decision. It should be placed in someone's hand who knows juveniles. And so that's what this bill is asking. And they had quite a few juveniles who testified yesterday concerning this bill. It was great to see the young people down there. Young people. We can't even get some of us old heads to get on the van with us, even though we're providing transportation. These young kids were down there. They had their suits on. Like Lady J was saying, they were dressed. They represented. Yes, we all were proud of them.
Absolutely.
And, next week we're going to be going back down. What we've been doing is, and I have to give shout out to Maryland Justice Project. And the reason why is because they have been providing a van, not charging anybody. We're asking maybe some other organizations might want to come in and foot the bill, but right now they're footing the bill by themselves. So if you've got an organization, you want to bring some of your people down to Annapolis, come share the van with us. And what we usually leave endowment on Tuesdays and Thursdays, depending on what day the bills are being heard. We go down, we stay there until the bill that we go down there to support is heard. Sometimes it's the first or second bill, sometimes, most likely, the criminal justice bills that we've been supporting have been next to the last bill. So what we've been doing is just taking our time, sitting, being patient, and waiting for our bill to come up.
Gwen, the other bill that we were there for was it 1180? Or that was that bill? Because there was another bill about the lifers. Life means life, and was that the same bill?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Youth Accountability and Safety Act, life means life, at least 25 years. Which is not right. I mean,
no.
Some of those laws went back to 1776 and how old and outdated they were, where they weren't appropriate for now, but they hadn't been changed.
No, they hadn't been changed, and that was the. Hold on. I'm getting some phone calls, and I don't know why they calling me instead of calling the station.
Mm-hmm. Lady J.
Yeah. Hey, Lily. If that's you calling in, call the station because I can't answer my phone right now. Willie was one of the people who went down. Lily Brown. She's an avid supporter. She was down Jessup with us, of course, and she goes down to Indianapolis every single time that she can. And so far, she's been down there on almost every trip that we've had. Thanks, Lily. We really, really appreciate your support.
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to more of you joining us.
Did you speak about the young lady that did come from Pennsylvania to join us?
Oh, Gabrielle, we call her Gabby.
Yes.
Gabby came all the way from Pennsylvania, you all. We can't even get people to come from West Baltimore to East Baltimore to West Baltimore to get on the van. Gabby drove all the way from Pennsylvania, Reading, Pennsylvania, to support her husband, who was a juvenile at 15 years old when he went in. He's been locked up how many years, Gail? What was it? 4?
I'm going to say 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's come down to support him to say that, yes, we need to make sure that juveniles can get the proper help that they need. And they can't get it when they go into these adult prisons.
But he's strong. He's holding on. And I think he was on a show last week.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on the show with us last week. He sure was. My glasses broke, so they kind of like looking lopsided. My son just told me, Mom, you need to straighten your glass. But guess what? I can see.
And I'm having trouble seeing over here. It's this old age is like, honest to goodness. But thank God that we're here to talk about it and share the information.
Now, next week, we're going to be leaving for Mandama. We're going to be going down for 2 bills. Hold on, let me get this information for you.
I believe that's Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday. You know, the bill that you were talking about was the felony murder bill.
Okay.
That's the second bill we heard yesterday.
Okay.
It was the felony murder bill. And what that bill says is that regardless of how many times you might not know, say I get in the car with Gail.
Oh.
Gail goes in Gail goes in the store and robs somebody. She comes out, gets back in the car with me, doesn't tell me anything. I go on home, 2 hours later, the police come lock me up. Guess what? Gail killed somebody when she went in that store. She didn't tell me. I didn't know anything about it. But when we went to court, guess who got time? I did. Life without parole for felony murder. What felony murder does is totally an injustice. It says that regardless of whether I committed the crime, I knew about it, I still get charged with that crime. If you commit a murder, or if you commit violence towards someone, I get charged with that. Regardless of whether I knew about it, regardless of whether I was present. I don't even have to be present at the time. If I even drove you somewhere and dropped you off, I could get charged with felony murder. It's one of the most unjust, and that's the one you were talking about that went back to the 1500s. And it was a United Kingdom. It was a English law.
Right.
And they established it back in the 1500s. But guess what? In 1953 or 54, they decided that it was an unjust bill. In England, and the English people no longer have that law, but yet we still have it as a common law here in the United States. And what we're trying to do now is take that law off of the books finally. So if you got a senator, your congressman, you know who they are, you can find them, look them up, send them a letter, send them an email, make a phone call, let them know that we want to make sure that this felony murder law gets taken off of the books It's already been taken off in a couple other states, and some states are working on it. We want Maryland to be one of the most progressive states that there is, and we can do that. All we got to do is let them know this is what we do not want this law on the books anymore. It has to come off. It is one of the most unfair, unjust laws. So many people, and we have to make sure that the second thing about the law is that we try right now, it's not retroactive. That means that the people inside who really need this law changed, the people who've been convicted of crimes that they had not participated in, they didn't have any knowledge of, they're sitting in jail doing life sentences, some of them. Some of them are expected to die in prison for something that they didn't do. Even some co-defendants are out. The actual perpetrator might get less time than than another person has gotten who wasn't even there. There's several cases like that that we're aware of. Please write your senator, write your congressman. It's easy to find out who they are. All you have to do is go on Maryland General Assembly Leg. That's MGALEG. Google it, and then it'll tell you where you can go to find out who your legislative representatives are. Yep. So that felony murder bill has to come off this year. We cannot continue to lock people up for crimes that they did not commit. It's an old law. There are many old common laws in the state of Maryland. As they come up, we're going to be talking about them, analyzing them, see if they're worthy of being able to continue. There are lots and lots of people in jail for felony murder, crimes that they did not commit. We have to make these laws that come out. This one right now is a law that's going to be, if it passes, it's going to be enacted for the future. We need to make sure that it gets to be retroactive, because the people who are inside are the ones who are arguing for this bill. They're the ones who are asking for this bill, not people who haven't even committed a crime yet, don't even know they're going to commit a crime, don't even know that they're going to be involved in the criminal justice system. No, we need this bill to be retroactive. So please go on the Maryland General Assembly website, find out who your legislators are, call them, email them, text them, whatever you do. Come join us on the van and go down to Annapolis. Join us in your own car if you don't trust my driving, which I'm a very good driver.
Yes.
But anyway, make sure we need your support down there. These bills are touching your loved ones. In the future, it might touch someone that you know, if it hasn't already.
That's Bill 1180?
Yes.
Okay. So it was in the House yesterday. Next it goes over into the Senate, or it's been there already?
No, it goes into the Senate next. Hopefully we'll get a reading on it within the next couple of weeks. Okay. But we'll let you know as they come up. We definitely will let you know. Okay. That's what this show is going to be about until the legislative session is over. And then that's when the work really begins, ladies and gentlemen. That's when the work really is going to begin. Because all this summer, we're going to be going around in our communities, making sure that our community associations, any kind of organization, your church group, anybody who has an organization that can hold more than 2 or 3 people, we want to come and talk to you about not just the legislation, but voting, making sure that all the people who are formerly incarcerated know that they have the right to vote. This summer, we're going to be very, very busy. We're not going to stop when this legislative session ends. We're going to continue so that next year, we'll be really ready. We'll be able to take buses of people down next year to support the bills, because we have so many people incarcerated who need to come home. Seniors. Hopefully, I heard some news, and hopefully I'm waiting to get it verified. We have to make sure that the geriatric medical parole bill gets passed.
Yeah.
We have too many people, too many seniors inside. Too many inside. They can do no harm. Some of them don't even remember why they were locked up. They've been in jail so long. Come on, we need to let compassion rule in Maryland. That's what we're saying to Governor Moore. Compassion is the word that we're going to start using more and more of. Not just compassionate release, but compassion in all our dealings with each other. From the time that one gets arrested till the time that you get sent back home again. Compassion is going to rule the state of Maryland. Yo, I was wondering if I'm surprised we didn't get any phone calls tonight.
Okay. But another thing that I saw when I was there with all the bills that were there yesterday in the House, people were coming all day long. There were groups of people with photographers getting their points across for the bills that they were interested in. But this criminal justice and the prison system, they realize it's not working. Whatever's going on and has been going on is not working. So it has to be changed. If you want the rehabilitation to work, the system has to be changed. And I think they're realizing the more they hear these cases over and over, and they're paying attention, they're asking questions. So I believe that this is a year that change is going to happen. And we still need everybody down there, as many people as we can, to let them know we're not settling for this. It's not working. So
No, it's definitely not working. But you know, we got a lobby day coming up. That's going to be really important. That's the day we go and talk to our legislators. That's the day we're going to take maybe a couple of vans, a bus. We're going to see what we can do. Some other organizations are going to be joining in. Maryland Justice Project, Out for Justice, Life After Release. A couple of other organizations are going to be joining in for this lobby day. You'll hear more about it over the weekend. Listening to Lady J, you'll hear more about it. Hopefully I'll have some more information before the weekend is out about it. And during lobby day, what you do is you go down and you find out who your legislator is. You go to their office, you get a chance to talk to them, let them know what bills you want them to support, let them know what's going on in your community that you need them to address maybe. But it's an opportunity to get to know your legislator. Yesterday, we saw they had a bill that concerned the elderly. We saw two groups come in from Prince George's County. There must have been 30, 40 people each group.
yes,
They had signs, they had posters. I know you can't take them into the hearing room, but they were going up to their legislators, their congressmen and their delegates, their senators and their delegates. They were going to their offices. So they had posters, they had signs supporting what bills they want to support. Yeah, it was really an awesome sight to see. Hopefully we'll have that kind of turnout for our lobby day. I know I'm looking right crazy with these glasses today. That's okay. Crazy as I look, and my son is sitting up here shaking his head talking about, I certainly do. But that's okay. The crazy looking, not crazy acting, so it's all right with me.
Annapolis will drive you crazy. I mean, there's so many things going on, but it's all, they're agreeing to disagree. I like that about how the process is working. You respect everyone's opinion, and it's, everybody gets 2 minutes. I love that. And some people can say a lot in 2 minutes and get their point across, but everybody gets a chance. The rebuttal, the positive and the negative, and you take away knowing a little bit more of how to get what you want. Yeah, it's amazing.
And it's amazing the amount of opposition where you think a bill might be just, oh, that's going to pass so easy. Nobody would be against felony murder. Nobody would be against people getting arrested for crimes that they didn't commit. But there were just as many people testifying in opposition as there was for the bill. And that's because we have a criminal justice system that is totally broken. Totally broken. The best thing we can do is continue to educate ourselves. The more education we have about the issues, the more we'll be able to apply pressure on and gain I guess the success that we want to have. It's so important. I know I did 16 years, and it wasn't for my family, my sons, my mother, my sisters, my brothers advocating on my behalf. I remember a time that something happened to me with my roommate, and I got put in segregation. One of my sons called Elijah Cummings' office. Elijah Cummings called my warden. My warden came to segregation and said, "Miss Levi, you know somebody named Elijah?" I said, "No." She said, "You don't know anybody named Elijah?" I said, "No." I thought she was talking about someone in the prison system. She said, "You don't know any Elijah Cummings?" I said, "Oh, Elijah Cummings, yeah, my congressman." She said, "Well, guess what? I know Mr. Cummings now, too. He just called me about his constituent." Who, and that's what he called me, his constituent, even though I had never voted in my life until I came home this time. But anyway, yeah, that's what family can do. They can put pressure your legislator can call and intercede on your family who's incarcerated. They can call and make reference to the parole board. They can call and send a letter. There are things that your congressman, your delegate can do on your behalf. So don't take it lightly and think that, oh, they just down in Annapolis. No, they come from where you come from, and they have to come back to that community. So make them do their work so that they'll be able to walk proudly through their community.
Yep, they're accountable.
Yes, and we can hold them accountable.
Yeah.
I'm seeing something on the screen that says, applying pressure is the way. And you know, ladies, this name that we got, Women of Wisdom, it's not the name we're going to keep. We're in the process now of getting our name changed. Women of Wisdom was an organization that we started inside the prison system at Maryland Correctional Institution for Women. It was one of the most profound, one of the most interesting, because it was made and designed for and by seniors. And what it did was, oh, I can take these glasses off. And what it did was, it addressed the issues of the elderly down at Jessup. We were able to do so many things. We had wellness clinics. We had resource fairs. We had, let's see, I'm trying to remember all the things that we did do. The wheelchair ramps were broken. We got them fixed. We had the American Disabilities Association come in. There were ramps put up to Center Hall. There were, so we worked not against the establishment. We worked with our administration, with the warden. And working with the warden, we were able to get more things done, I think, than if we had been in one of those antagonistic groups, always complaining or always lighting a fire. Sometimes you can light a fire, but it can just simmer and get something cooked. So that's what we did. We were a simmering fire. We were like, sometimes we had to yell, sometimes we had to blast, but for the most part, we were a simmering fire, and we got things done. And we called ourselves the Women of Wisdom. That was inside. We're outside now, and I think we can say a little bit more. So we might be talking about, I don't know, a new name.
Yeah.
We'll let you know next week. What was one of the names that we came up with yesterday?
I don't believe it was Breaking Chains. It was trying to think.
Ladies Unleashed.
That's
Ladies Unchained. Yep, it was Unchained Ladies, Ladies Unchained. But we're not just going to be ladies. We might have some gentlemen on, so I don't know if we're going to stick with the Ladies Unchained, but it's going to be definitely something unchained. So if you got any suggestions for us, come on with it. We'd love to hear from you. So,
yeah.
So I think we're going to be leaving it Tuesday at 11 o'clock. We leave in Darwin. We usually leave from the Liberty Heights side, right there where the old Target used to be, that parking lot. But if not on that side, we're right there at Fridays, right across from Fridays parking lot.
Do you know which bill that is?
For Tuesday,
Yes.
yes, it's the mm, what is CICB? It's the bill that does with the compensation. Remember, we had a group that went downtown, and we had a focus group, and it's the compensation bill. It's a bill that says that if you were a victim of crime, if you were a victim of a crime, you can get compensated for your medical bills, your rent might have to get paid. There's a certain amount of money that you can be allotted if you were a victim of a crime in the state of Maryland, and it's not being used. We don't know where the money is going, but it's not being used because people that we talked to have said that they don't know of anyone who's gotten compensated.
Wow.
If it might have been a rape, it might have been an armed robbery, it might have been some kind of molestation. We don't know what the crimes totally are. So we're going to be doing our research on that over the weekend, so that when we go down, we will be prepared and know exactly what kinds of crimes can be compensated. So that bill is going to be heard Tuesday. And it's I'm thinking it's the violence compensation. That's what it is. Violence
Okay.
compensation. Hey, Ed, I don't know if you're listening. We miss you.
Love you.
Yeah. We had hoped to have Miss Leah Green and Marilyn Tier on tonight. Hopefully she'll come on. What we're thinking about doing is each week focus on a different nonprofit organization, one of the organizations that's doing things here in our state. So there are quite a few of them. So hopefully we'll have someone and they can bring themselves and their people on and tell exactly what their organization is doing to help get people released, help to re-enter what kind of programs they have. Uh, Shout out to Joshua Hatch, whose program Turnaround Thursday started yesterday down in Annapolis. Heard you did a great job, Josh. If you know of any new programs that's starting that affect returning citizens or reentry type programs, give us a call. Let us know. We want to be able to talk about things that are relevant to our family inside, but most important to the ones of us who have come home also. So Lady J's not with us tonight.
We had a paper that we picked up a couple of weeks ago, the General Assembly dates of interest. And on March 6th, they're saying that's the 55th day and the final date for introduction of bills. So
Okay, so
all of these bills are being introduced up until the 6th. And that's the cutoff date?
from what I understand, yes.
Okay.
Hmm. And then we'll just have to wait and see how many of them get pushed through. Hopefully we get a favorable vote on the ones that we went down to support. So far, we've been down there for the Meriatric medical geriatric parole,
Uh-huh.
Restorative Justice Act, the Second Look Act, and the Correctional Ombudsman. And now, if you want to follow up on them, uh, hopefully we'll have a follow up next week and see which one of these are passing. Hopefully they'll start taking votes also after the 6th, after all the bills have been introduced.
Well, I'm continue reading, and it says that's our bills. And then after that, on the 14th, each chamber reports their own bills. So they have separate bills that they're going to bring up. And then on the 20th, uh, they offer those bills that they intend to pass to the opposite chamber. So that's, until the 20th of March. So that's a crossover.
I wonder what's going on with
Yeah,
this phone.
very interesting.
You
But they
said
have
on
their
the
own
20th?
separate bills that they're going to present. So I don't know if that should probably be open also for us to sit down and hear their bills. Correct?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, the session stuff is, it'll be still open.
Okay.
Well, I thank you all for sticking with us tonight. What we're gonna do is, like I say, just remember, we read Mandalman. If you want to come down and participate in this legislative process, we welcome you.
And if there's a topic that someone listening would like to discuss and hear more about, we can help get information to what they're interested in. Feel free to call and let us know.
Someone just said that they don't have any clue as to what the bill is and what the process is. So that's what we'll start doing next week also. We'll start telling you how how your community can initiate a bill, how a bill gets enacted, how it starts, what's the process, how to get a bill written, how to find a sponsor. That
And
whole
it's not
legislative
hard.
process is something that we're going to start next week.
It's not
So
hard.
no, it's not hard, but it's a process.
Yes, yes.
It's definitely a process. It's not hard, but it is definitely a process, and we want you all to know. So that's like I said, that's the second leg of what we plan on doing is making sure that we know how to get a bill passed. We know why those bills should be passed, and we know how to contact our legislators.
Yes. And I think each time we go, we learn something, you know. And I'm praying that next week is not till midnight. Wow. But if it is, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated, because you don't want to leave. You get there at 1 o'clock because you don't know what time your bill is going to be heard. But once you get there, you can find out because they have a monitor that lets you know what all the bills are and what time they're going to, not what time they're going to be heard, but in what succession they're going to be heard. Like your bill might be the fifth bill. Yesterday our bill was the 16th and 15th and 16th bill, the last two bills. Go figure. Last week a couple of the bills were like seventh. We got out at 7 o'clock. I think only one evening we got out about 3:30.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But it's a process. So come prepared. There, there are places to eat. Main Street has some quaint little shops. We ate in one place that has sandwiches, and they're all named after different famous people in Maryland, governors, local people. It was odd eating a Hogan sandwich, a Governor Hogan sandwich. Yeah, but they have sandwiches made out of they're all named after different legislators or different famous people in Maryland. There was a Harriet Tubman sandwich. There was a Elijah Cummings sandwich. Yeah, all kinds. Yeah. So that was one of the places that we ate. They have in the Senate building, they have a cafeteria, which is pretty good for finding food. Gail, when we go next week, can we make sure and let's get a copy of the legislative, I'm trying to think what it is. All their names and their telephone numbers, or either their names and the email. If we go down to the print office,
Yes, I have that.
that's the one we picked up last week.
Yeah, I have that for you.
Okay.
Just send it in the house. Yes, ma'am.
You have to excuse me. I am so sleepy.
It's been a long day, and I think you did well. Still recuperating from yesterday. Life is like, wow, it's just March. But I thank God we've come this far. And
And
get
the
ready.
easiest way you can go on is we're going to finish up next week talking about the legislative process, what the bill is, how to find the bill, how to what it involves in getting your legislator, how to get in touch with your legislator so that he'll know what kind of things the issues are in your community. And the start of it is having community meetings, making sure that you know what's going on in your community. That's the beginning of it. My son wants me to start next week's show tonight.
Start what?
My son wants me to start next week's show tonight, and I'm telling him we will be starting next week's show next week. Yes. So
You're not reading the text. The lady asked the question.
the question is about what was the question? I didn't read it. I didn't see it.
That's what I'm trying.
Mhm. Did you see a question, Gail, that went across?
I cannot see anything. My eyes, my allergies.
I'm telling you, I'm not seeing it. Hopefully it'll come back up again. But the question was about the bill.
What is the bill?
And what is a bill? A bill is the proposal. It's what the legislative intends to do. It comes from the Senate or the House of Representatives. There are different types of bill, and what it does, the bill answers a need. If there's a problem, like you said, take the felony murder. We want to have that overturned. Remove the governor from the medical parole bill passed today. Yes! Woo! I don't know who it is, who TSB is, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, somebody anyway, we went down for the medical geriatric parole bill. It was week before last. I just found out, just as same as you all, that it passed today. It is the governor has been removed from the medical parole process. That was the medical geriatric parole bill that we said it was HB, I think 0047. That's great news. If I have to end the show on anything, that is awesome news. What it is, this was a bill that said that even though the parole board said that you might get parole, it went and sit on the governor's desk, and the governor had the right. And this was before we got such a good governor, of course. So we asked that the governor be removed from that process and let it be solely up to the parole commission. And that's their job, is to vet you, to make sure that you did your institutional, you've been did everything you're supposed to do in the institution, and they deem that you are ready for parole. A lot of times the geriatric parole is because of your health. We've had people who died waiting for geriatric medical parole while it sit on the governor's desk. So we're asking that
number 98.
Yes, we're asking that the governor be removed, and guess what? It passed today. The governor is removed from the medical parole.
Not medical, the geriatric.
From medical parole. Yes, from medical parole. one thing I think that Gail and I will be doing this week is practicing coming on other people's shows so we can get more attuned to how to respond to our questions and how do we work this format that we've been given. We've been given this format, so now it's going to be up to us to train ourselves on how to use it to be more effective.
Yes.
Because if it wasn't for my son sitting here, I had no idea a question was being asked. I didn't see it stroll across.
I presented the question and she reiterated.
Thank you.
Yep. So hopefully we'll have more successes, more bills we'll be getting. Like I said, getting the governor removed out of the process is a great thing, because what criteria could he be using to deny people once the parole board has said that they're eligible? The parole board does the vetting. They investigate. They look at your institutional record. They make sure that they check your medical record to make sure that you really are as sick as they say you are. And once they decide that you should come home, because it costs so much to keep people inside. The medical costs so much. We could alleviate a lot of that money and it could go to programming if we let some of our seniors out with all that medical care. That money could be used for better use for programs. So hopefully that's what this process will be. This parole process. Now that the governor is removed from it. We got him removed from the parole process last year. So this year we were asking that he be removed from the medical parole. And from what someone just told us, that's happened. So kudos to all those who came down and supported us last couple of weeks ago. To all those who wrote and called their senators, especially to groups like Major and Maryland Cure and Maryland Justice Project, Out to Justice. Those organizations lobbied, they called, they sent out action letters to let people know what bills we were concerned with, what bills we were supporting. So if there's any success to be had, it's to be had by all. The coalition that we're trying to hopefully form among all these groups is success, a successful coalition. That's we don't have to have a better name than that. A successful coalition. Well, Gail, it's about time for us to end this. Hopefully we've enlightened some people. Hopefully we've stirred up enough interest that people will want to know more. I hope we weren't too boring. I hope our lack of knowledge didn't show too much. And if it did, as my son is sitting up here critiquing me, and if it did, we're going to get better, because I have a son here who's going to critique me all weekend long to make sure that
not critique, but educate.
Critique and educate, so that I make sure that all the mistakes that I made tonight, you can guarantee I won't be making them next week.
Well, I'm open for critique. And
Yes, I welcome it, because we want to get better. We don't know, this is a new format for us. We don't know, and so if you have any suggestions on how we can better handle it, how we can better perform.
I thank you for being patient.
Yeah, I thank you for coming on. Yes.
Yeah.
So as we end tonight, we're going to offer prayers for those that we left inside. We're going to make sure that we know that we're not alone. We didn't leave and just come out here and say, oh, well, I'm out and now I can forget about it. No, I'm out, and I'm out to do something to help another person get out.
Yeah.
All right, Gail. Until we see each other next week.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore Online Radio, where the people have the power.
Pertaining to one issue.
You know,